Hello friends, welcome to this CSS Basic course. Hello friends, welcome to this CSS course. In this course, we will learn from the basic to advanced level CSS. So I have divided this CSS course into levels, level 1 to 7. So in this video, we will learn about the level 1. In that level 1, we will learn basic syntax, color properties, styles and comments, and MDM documentation, browser tools and selector. All these topic we will cover in the as part of level 1. So I will keep this videos very simple and very straightforward and to the point. So let's start with that. First, before we starting this CSS level 1, we will install Visual Studio. Type here Visual Studio Code here in browser. Click on Visual Studio Code. If you are using a Windows system, download for Windows. And if you are using Mac, you can download for Mac system and install that. It's a very easy steps. And next, once you install that, uh, I will open my Visual Studio here because I have already installed in my system. Once you install this Visual Studio Code, click here on extension. There are two important extension we need. One is live server. Click here on live server and install that because I have already installed. So it is showing disable and uninstall here in my system. So you can install this live server is used to when you run any HTML or CSS code, then you don't have to manually open that browser and run this. Once you do any changes into your code, then that changes will get reflected on browser automatically by this live server. And second is prettier. This prettier is for code formatting, so you can install this so that your code will get formatted properly. So let's start with the actual coding here. I will start from beginning. I will click on file, open folder. I have created one folder YouTube videos. I will create new folder here, CSS Basic level 1. Select folder and open. So our first topic will be CSS Basic as per this document or PPT we can say. I will create one folder. Sorry, I will just create one file index.html and second file index.css. Now I will create one folder inside this level 1. So first topic is basic syntax. We will learn about the basic syntax of CSS. So in CSS, any element we work on that has a three part. One is selector. second is a property, and third is value. So what is the importance of this key points or selector or property or value? We will learn about that. So here in selector, you can see a selector is a HTML element that you want to target, and properties that once you specify that selector, we have to provide the property or that attribute for which for that element which you want to change any color or any property you want to change for that particular selector, that you can do by using property. And you have to provide some style or what we call a value for that specific property, that is called a value. So this is the example. In this example, we have uh, paragraph is mentioned here. Paragraph element is this, and for this paragraph, we are providing color blue. Similar way, we have a class here. If you want to change the background color of the container, we have created one class dot container, and we have changed the background color for this by using background color, and we have provided hexa number here. And third is we have created one ID with the header, and we are providing font size of 24 pixel. So practically we will learn about this. I will just create one boilerplate here. We have to enter exclamatory mark and click on enter, because this will get automatically created in Visual Studio Code. So our first topic is basic syntax. Okay. So I will just remove this part because this is not needed. So actually, as part of this HTML documentation, there are few important things we need to consider. First is a doc type, that is a document name. Then document name is HTML, and HTML is a tag that is a mandatory tag in any HTML document. So we have to mention that this is already generated by boilerplate. Visual Studio has created this code by default code for us, and in HTML is a very important tag. In HTML, we have two important tag, head and body. So inside head, we have a title. We have mentioned basic syntax. And now we will start with the actual coding here in CSS. First, before that, we will create few element in the body tag. One, we will create a H1 heading. Okay, and we will try to create one more element, that is that is a paragraph. And we have a shortcut to create a paragraph. Lorem we can use, and if you want a 50 uh, character here length, 50 word length, then we can enter here 50 and we can create here. So this is created. I'll just reduce that this part. Okay, so this is fine. If I run this open with live server, we can select. Here we can see this is heading and this is the paragraph. So we have to provide the styling for this. So we can start the styling for this HTML document. There are three ways we can do the styling. One is inline styling. Another is inside the internal styling, means inside the HTML document, and another is inside the index.css. We can create a separate CSS file and we can do the styling for this. So we'll create one style here, tag element here. If you want to do the styling for heading one, we can mention ht1 h1 element here, and color you can say red. So once we click here, and we can see here this heading got changed. Similarly, we if you want any other styling for this paragraph also, we can do that in style. This is the syntax. Actually, this is the selector, this is attribute, and this is the value for that attribute. So a similar way, we have this paragraph, and suppose we want to increase the font size of this paragraph, then we can say 40 pixel, suppose, and we can see here this got changed font, it has increased. So this is the basic syntax of this CSS. First is selector, property, and value. This is the selector H1. This is the property, and this is the value. Similarly, for paragraph, P is the selector, font size is the property, and property value is 40 pixel. This is all the basic syntax of this CSS element. So we'll start with the next topic, color property. So we have seen that we have just applied this color red for this H1 element. Similarly, we can see there are different way of applying the color. One is directly named. One is we have already checked, right? Color red. And if you want to do by using hexadecimal, RGB, we can do it by using those as well. Uh, okay. For example, I will mention color. Okay, and I will just click on here, and I can select any color. So this RGB is red, green, and blue. This is the syntax for that. The maximum value is for 255 for every R, red, G, green, and blue. So this is a maximum value 255 for each color, red, green, and blue. But for this particular color, we have values for red is 20, green is for 116, and blue is for 200. So this color got generated. So we can see here, I'll just remove this part, and we can see on this color got changed for heading. Similarly, we can do for RGBA as well. How we can create, we'll see here. There is a syntax for this RGB and RGBA. A is for transparency or opacity, we can say. I will just create one of these, or we after that, before that, we'll learn about hexa color. This is hexa color. Okay, six character number is a hexa color. We can see here the color got changed to black again. So if I want to change this, I can just change this here. Hexa color is got generated here. Okay, or I'll just change again. Suppose I say red, and I want to change any hexa color. By using hash 00000, and if I select any other color, right? So this is the hexa number, 6 digit. This is a combination of character and number, and six numbers will six character will string. Six is the length of this hexa number. Okay, so it got changed again. So similarly, we can do for the RGB also. So next topic we will cover into style, how to do the styling. There are three way of styling. One is inline styling. Another is internal styling and third is the external styling. So in this styling, we can see here uh, internal styling is like inline styling is inside the HTML document only. In tag, we can mention the style color is equal to red or any other style we can apply to that element in the same line. When we try to when we create the coding for this particular HTML code, when we write any HTML code for this particular element, we provide the style for that in this line. That's why we call it inline style. Uh, There is another way we can do that is internal styling. Internal styling is like we can create a style tag here inside the head and we can write our styling for those elements. Here in this H1, we have provided uh, another styling color and paragraph. We have changed this color. So this is a internal styling. And third way is external styling. We have created index.css file and we inside that we have created styling. We'll see here practically. So now before that, I'll just remove this styling. We'll start from beginning H1 inline styling. So I'm providing, so this is the syntax actually for comment, okay. Uh, Closing bracket, exclamatory and double dash and inline styling. This is the syntax of comment in HTML document. Inline styling I have mentioned here. And for H1, I want to change the styling. Before that, I want to show how this document looks like. There is completely black this doc. There is no styling applied to this document. So I'll start here. Color red. Okay. We can see color got changed. And for paragraph also, if I want to change the color, sorry, I need to mention style also. We can see style applied, blue color is applied for this paragraph. This is called the inline styling. Now, if you want to do similar way uh, inside the head tag, that is called internal styling. I will just comment here. In first head tag, I will change the color to blue violet, and for paragraph, color is aquamarine. Okay. So now we can see both colors are applied. Both colors we have mentioned here in style. But now if you notice here, we already have this color styling is applied here in this inline style, and we have mentioned the styling in style tag also inside our head tag. So, but if you see here, the style is applied from this inline style only, not on from the style in the head. So because there is a priority mentioned or there is a priority for this styling, always this HTML CSS take this inline styling as a priority for the priority to this inline style, internal styling and external style also. So this inline style has a highest priority. So that's why the color is showing red and blue here in this document. If you remove this color, suppose uh, suppose we remove this red color, then it will take blue violet, correct? So this will take as a next color for this. So now this is called the internal styling and this is called the inline style. Now we'll learn about the external style. So what I will create, we have a two tag h1 and p, right? I will just write h1 tag. Color I will mention something like brown here. For paragraph, I will mention different color. Suppose I will mention aqua. Okay. Now if you see, I'll just run that again. There is no change because that internal styling has the highest priority as compared to this external CSS. But still, we can see there is one mistake we have done. We have not linked this index.css in this document. So that we have to apply this here. Before title, we will link this to index.cs CSS. Okay. Once we done right, so now suppose we will remove the styling, and now we can see here this brown and blue color got this brown and aqua blue, right? Aqua blue is not applicable. Why? Because there is a style present for this inline style is present, which has highest priority than this internal style as well as external style. That's why this color didn't change. So always remember this, the priority of this styling is inline style has a highest priority, internal style has after that priority, and last is external document. But in real life, we don't use this internal styling and inline styling. So that's why we'll start using external styling only going forward. I'll just remove this one and this part also I will just remove. Okay. So now we will get the aqua, this color as well. This we don't see because this color has a different. So I'll just change to something this color. Okay. Now we can see, right? Okay. So this color got applied here. So we'll go to next topic. So I hope you understood this. The styling has a preferences. Inline styling has a highest preference. Internal styling has after that, and external styling has a last preference. But in real life, we always use external styling only. We create the CSS separate document and we use that styling to this HTML document. So this is the way we can do the styling. So we'll go to next topic. This is we have completed including styling. Next, we'll learn about the DOM. DOM is the document object model. We know, right? When we create HTML document, there is always one structure is mentioned here. The document type is HTML. We can say this is the document type, and this document start with the HTML is the main tag here. After that, we have head, and this is the body. Inside body, we have mentioned the H1 tag, P tag. We can mention a lot of elements inside this body. So those are in hierarchical manner. So this is the structure of the DOM we have to understand. First is the document. Root element is HTML. After that, we have elements head, and second is body. Inside this head, we can do the titling. We can mention title here, and inside body we have header element H1. After that, we have anchor element, and we have footer. So all these, whenever we try to write any code in HTML, we should always prefer the writing code in by using elements which are mentioned in DOM, or we should use the proper naming convention for those because those are very useful and that helps when doing SEO, right? So that if you are developing any website, that time your website will get rank very good rank in the Google. So we should not always use one single div element or any. We should always try to use. Suppose you are creating nav bar, then we should use nav. So in this way, we have to use as much as a DOM element instead of one single div element everywhere. So we'll start the next topic. So we'll learn about the inspect element, CSS specific element, and source. So So we have learned some basic about this document, or we call HTML CSS. So now we can see these two lines are generated. But if you want to inspect about this, all this, then right click on this page. We have two options. So one is to view page source, and second is inspect. This inspect is used to, we can inspect the multiple thing. We can see the HTML code here, element, and CSS is styling. In style, we can see here. Suppose we click on any heading, or we call, suppose we click on this heading, okay, and we can see all these properties or CSS applied to this. We can see here color is brown, and if we see this paragraph, we can see color is green, color is applied here. So these are all we can see here by using inspect. And if you want to change this color, right, if I click here on heading, and if I want to change this color from blue, okay, it is getting changed. If I want to change red, we can do check. So this is a this change in the element, or we call styling here in inspect section. This is a temporary change only. It will not get reflected here live, because this is just for testing. Suppose we want this color, and we can take this color, copy, and go to code and apply this. But suppose if you think that this is the permanent color, then it's wrong thing actually. If I refresh, then it will get again changed here, right? If I want, suppose green color here, okay, green color, this is the code actually. But when I refresh this, it got changed, because this is a temporary color. We can do changes from the inspect section just for our debugging and testing purpose, so that we can do our coding or analysis from here. And if you want this color, green color, suppose we want, we can take this hash code and go to code here. And now we see, refresh this, this is not applied. But when I go to index.css and apply this color, okay, so it will get changed. Now it got changed. This is a permanent now, because we did changes into the code, not on this only uh, style or inspect section. In this inspect section is just for temporary uh, code change, and this is for debugging and testing only, not for this complete permanent change on this code side. Okay, so that's thing, important thing we have learned about this. Now this is not a real time editing. Sorry, this is actually real time editing means it don't change at server side, it change only at client side. Okay. So we will go to next. We see that next is a view page source. We, if you want to click here, right click and view page source, right, we can see a complete code here we applied. So if you see this code script, all this is created by this uh, DOM only. We have not created this. Okay. Now we, our code is this part only, H1 and P, and this is the index.css. Okay. So this is the our code. Now next we'll learn about the element selector. We have learned about the element selector. Also universal selector, we will check that. Suppose we want to do some changes at complete document level, right? So if you see here, our heading start at here, and we can see a lot of gap is there above one, and there is no proper alignment, because different browser has a different setting. So the, so we have to make sure that all these browsers should behave in a similar way for our website, right? So for that, we have to create a margin padding properly, so that every, our website should look similar to the uh, similar to similar on every browser. Okay. So to do that, we have to create the universal selector here. Universal selector we can create using star here, star, and we can do the margin 0, padding 0. Once we do this, right, we can see here it come directly. It is touching to this It's starting from the beginning only. It is not keeping the steps, any space here. So this way, this is very important thing, because once you do this right, so our browser will, any browser will behave the similar way, right? That's why. So, and if you want to do any apply any changes to complete document, then this will, we can mention into the universal selector. Suppose I want to change the font family, suppose. Okay, if you see this currently how it is looking like, this way, right? If I want to change the family, uh, font family to, suppose I will change to something like this, we can see font has changed for this, right? So this way, uh, and this change in this universal selector is applicable to complete document, HTML document. Okay, so that's a very important thing for universal selector. Next is, yeah, this we have learned, right? Our syntax is star asterisk. It target the style all the element on web pages. So useful for setting universal attribute like font, color, all this, right? We can see in this screenshot as well. So next is ID and class property. ID property, it is assign unique identifier to single HTML element, and class is allow grouping of multiple HTML element to style them collectively. So we will learn here, for in this screenshot we can see here. Uh, I have created one ID heading and class article. This class article is applicable to paragraph as well as H1 heading in the below. This is also heading content is right. So this we have applied class, and ID is heading. Okay. Once we do the CSS for this, for ID we have mentioned hash, heading color is this. So this changed for only particularly for that heading only. When we do the class level, it is applying to all this wherever we see the class. This class is applicable uh, to paragraph as well as second. This heading is there, right? This is the first one heading, and this is the same head, sorry, different H1 element we have created, and class is article here at both place, uh, paragraph and H1. So this class article um, properties will be applicable to this paragraph and H1. So we have done, we changed this color. So it is changing at both place like paragraph and H1. So this is the way we can do. Practically we will see here. Suppose I want to create a H1 heading, right? H1 heading we have already. Now I will create ID heading. Suppose I am creating heading, and for heading, instead of doing like this, okay, element level, this is the element level, we have done applied the changes, or we applied property or value or CSS code change we did at element level, but now we are doing using ID. Suppose hash, to mention hash, to mention ID we have to mention hash and ID name. Suppose we can give the color to red, color to, suppose, so now what is the color here? Black we can see, right? Now I give red, then it got changed to red. So we are pointing to this particular heading only. And this is the one single, this ID is a unique, so we cannot mention heading again in a document for any other element, right? So ID is a unique key thing. Okay, so we cannot use that at another place, but class you can mention at multiple places. Class, we can say this is article, right? I have mentioned. I will just create one more heading, H2. H2 I will create. Okay, this is heading 2. Okay, I have created, but when I say article and I go to here and mm, to find the class, we have to mention dot and class name, and color. Suppose I will give something like blue, right? I have given blue. But if you see here, this class I have mentioned blue, and it got changed because our class is applicable to paragraph only as of now. If I use the same class here in the H2 also, okay, the color for heading 2 is got also changed. We have not created any other coding change here in CSS level. We have just applied same class to paragraph and heading 2. So it got changed for both them. So that's a very important thing. We can do the styling for a different element, or we can do for any particular group style changes. Like this is for paragraph and H2 element. This is the group P and S2. These are two tags. We have grouped, and like we have used this article color blue for those two. So this is very important. And next, we'll learn about the group selector. Suppose we want to do the styling for this multiple element, right? So that also we can do here. Uh, if I do this color change, for instead of doing this, I'll just remove this H1, comma H2, comma paragraph. Okay. And if I say color is equal to blue violet, okay. This got changed to everywhere because we have grouped all these three tags together. So in this way, we can do the grouping of this selector. Okay. Next, we will descendant selector. Descendant selector means suppose now we don't have any element inside any other element. Suppose I create a one div element, or we call a heading. Okay, I'll just create a header. Okay, header element, and inside header I will just mention these two headers. I will remove this, or I'll just keep this like this. We can see here. I will just remove this ID. I will create one class here, and class is header class. Okay. And if I want to apply any changes here, I have to mention a header class. Uh, okay. And after that, H1, we can see here. Uh, we have not applied, we have to remove this. Mention this dot. Okay. And if I mention this H2 also, we have to remove this class, comma H2. We have to mention here. We can see here it is applied. We are grouping this multiple tags. Okay. So this is the descendant of to this H1, H2 are descendant to header class. So that's all in the level 1. We have learned about this. This is very important. Thank you, friends.